Alright, now that we've customized our textures, let's export these with the Mass Exporter. Now your texture customization scene will already have this in there here, but if you want to create your own, let's create a new object and we'll call this Mass Exporter. And I'm just going to label this as body and head because we're going to do a different one for the armor. And then we're going to add a Mass Exporter script to that. That's SFB Mass Exporter. And then I'm going to add all but the armor to this array here. Alright, now I'm going to call this a group name. We're going to call this Demon Exports, and I'll copy that. We do not want to remove the emissive because we do have emissive textures on these. We do want to remove the height map, and we'll set the normal map mode as normal, and we're going to merge with the group. That means if I do subsequent exports of the same maps, then they'll go into Demon Exports as well, rather than having a Demon Exports 2, Demon Exports 3. They'll all be in the same folder. Right now we'll just export these materials. Alright, now that that's done, I'll clear the console out, and under SFBase Studios Exported Materials, a new folder, Demon Exports, and then we have all of our materials here. These are all ready for use in the game, so if I wanted to, I could just drag them on, and you can see there's only a slight difference in the look there. And all of our textures. And for the few, I think one of the horns doesn't have emissive. For that one, we could actually get rid of this map, so we can just go ahead and delete that right there. Because we're not actually going to be using that, but the rest do have the emissive map that we'll keep. We want to do the armor now. The reason why I kept the armor separate is that we might be changing the roughness value a lot for the armor. So if I make subsequent versions of the armor, I want to be able to export that separately. So let's go ahead and export the armor, and then we'll do a second version of everything. And you can see why I wanted to do it separately. So let's go back to the procedural materials. Go up to my armor here, and in the window, I'm going to click the export material. There's also a hotkey for that. That'll bring up this little material window right here. If you had selected this, then it would have been pre-populated, but I didn't, so I'm going to drag that down there. I'm going to name this Demon Exports, and I'm going to remove the emissive, I'm going to remove the height, and I'm going to set, there we go, so let me export that material. Alright, so now if we go back into this, we have Demon Armor with our different maps that we need, and our material right there, so there we go. Now, the reason I wanted to keep that separate is I have this copy previous group thing here. So I'm going to name this Demon Armor. I don't know. I'm going to name this Demon Exports. And I'm going to copy the normal, AO, and the height, but I'm not, and I'll select emissive too, but I'm not going to copy the metal rough. And the reason being is I might change the metallic roughness values on these, specifically the roughness values on this as I make a new version. So let me go ahead and make a new version of the armor right now. Alright, now that I like this look, I'm going to make sure that the previous group name matches the group name, so Demon Exports. And I want to copy, the normal, AO, height, and emissive. Those are going to be deleted anyways, but the normal and AO from the previous one. So let's go ahead and export those. Alright, now since we already have a Demon Armor, it's going to be under Demon Armor 2. Notice we only have our albedo, opacity, and metallic roughness maps here. If we go to the material here, we're sharing these two maps from Demon Armor 1. Since those are the same for each one, we don't actually need to create multiple copies. It saves on disk space and RAM usage. So there you go. So that's an easy way to manage that. So now let's go back and create a new body look as well to match this armor. Alright, now that I've got my bodies set, I like this light look, or lighter look. I'm going to go back to my mass exporter, and just like the export single material, previous group name is going to be Demon Exports. And so if there's a match for any of these, it's going to use the normal, AO, the metal roughness, height, and emissive. Or not the emissive. We're not going to copy the emissive because that changes color. But the rest, I am not going to change any of the roughness values for any of these. So the rest I can actually copy. Let's go ahead and export those. Now if we go into these, you'll notice that we're missing all the maps except for the albedo opacity and the emissive. Pretty much all the values that that we've changed we keep, but the rest we don't. Now you could also do an emissive with white if you want just to have a solid emissive color, and there's not much variation in the colors here, and that could save you on maps as well, just using a white, and then you could share that amongst all of them, and then you can actually change the color inside the standard shader material. For instance, on the body C here, for the emissive value, you can actually change the color there. So if you have a white value on the emission map instead of red, you can change that way, and that's one way to save a little bit of texture memory as well, if you don't want the slight variation in color that you can get from the map itself. So that's pretty much it. That's how you do the texture exporting for the standard shader. And if you have any questions, let me know on the forums. Have a great day, everybody.